The last 2 times I came here as a candidate, and many people in this room were responsible for me being elected as the next mayor, so I really appreciate that. And I came on at a time when totally unprecedented what's going on in DC and Sacramento, and feel like I'm caught in between the big icebergs here in DC and Sacramento, but I'm trying to navigate a middle course for prosperity for Fresno. And about a month ago, the city of Fresno was recognized by S&P. They raised our credit rating 5 points at once, unprecedented, to an A+. This goes back in contrast to 4 years earlier when they were actually calling Fresno was going to be the next bankrupt city. Sorry to disappoint you. We were a junk bond status back then. We had no reserve. We had $36 million in internal loans to pay back. And as I speak today, the loans have been paid back. We're building up to a $30 million reserve. With an A+ credit rating enabled us to refinance our bonds. They did not extend the bonds termination date. I wrote the act that did that. And it saved taxpayers over $40 million over 22 years. So our general fund is saving about $1.5 million a year due to some of the policies I wrote and having a reserve fund and being fiscally responsible. By contrast, there's cities across California right now that, in my opinion, because of unfunded major problems on their pension, could be bankrupt in the next 5 to 10 years. So we're not going to follow that course. I'll be presenting our budget in about 2 weeks, and it's going to be, we're not going to lay anybody off. In fact, we're going to add about 21 police officers. But it's still, yeah. When I started in 2009, I think we had about 830 police officers, authorized, sworn officers. It got down to about 695 at the bottom of the recession. With this addition, assuming the council approves it, we're going to be at 824, the highest level since 2009 in a city that certainly needs a lot of help. We have major problems in infrastructure like everybody else I'm going to identify. And one of the major problems the city has is developing a strong economic base to produce the revenues necessary to cover our core services, police, fire, parks, public works, all the things that are necessary. And so for me, the challenge in front of me is poverty, generational poverty, high unemployment, high crime. And one of the biggest problems I face is the city of Fresno's lack of confidence. You know, I've met, what's the old phrase? I've met the enemy and I'm the enemy. We need to believe in ourselves. And I went from being more of a critic in the past 8 years to a cheerleader today. And there's a lot of great things in front of us, but we can't do anything without our partners, the power of collaboration. That's Fresno County, our school system, Fresno State University, State Center, the nonprofits, the faith-based. I'm a collaborator. And I work with everybody. And get good example. Fresno County has historically not had a great relationship with the city of Fresno. Fresno County now, we're meeting on a monthly basis with Brian Pacheco as the chair. And on May 30th, it's going to be the first joint meeting of the City Council and the Fresno County Board of Supervisors. And I don't know how many years since then, so that deserves an applause. And so many good things can come from that, from public safety, homelessness, animal control. We've already accomplished 2 or 3 things already with 2 meetings. And we're going to get on the 30th. There's a pretty aggressive agenda, and I'm looking forward to it. And this is how cities and how governments get ahead. They work as partners. So I'm going to lay out my vision. It took me a year on a campaign trail to finally figure out the vision stuff. I always went into the details, but my vision is economic prosperity for the community, improving public safety, improving the overall quality of life for all of our citizens, and unifying Fresno. And the cornerstone of all those goals is economic development. And for economic development, there's a roadmap. And that's the Economic Expansion Act that I wrote last year. It was the 19th act, and probably the best one I did, that laid out the incentives to improve business. So there's a two-pronged strategy. One is to improve and recognize and support small business. That's primarily going to be done through what I'll introduce probably in a couple of weeks, is the Business Friendly Fresno 2 initiative that will take and determine what are the roadblocks for the city of Fresno in terms of processing business. As a licensed contractor who's pulled permits in several cities in the valley, Fresno is one of the toughest ones to work with, but I'm determined to accomplish this. I'm going to have a board, a panel of professionals from single-family developers, commercial, retail, an architect, an engineer, an HR person, because one of the biggest problems I'm facing is the work culture. And I'm determined to solve that problem. And I've even got the union representative recognizing the problem and are work hand in hand with us to solve this problem. And the second prong, and this is the big one, is going to be economic development of an industrial area. And we all know the area which is by, we don't all know, but by north and central 99 and Highway 41 corridor. There's about 970 acres and there's adjacent land. And earlier this year we announced that Ulta has decided to locate an e-commerce center at that location that will employ initially about 500 or 600 people and expand to 1,000 people. And these are what I call net new jobs, net new taxes, because there are no e-commerce centers in Fresno. And you take a piece of land that's say valued at a couple $1 million, and you build a $200 million plant with equipment and fixtures, that's exponential in terms of tax increment. And we're also looking at my sinuses drive me crazy. I have to drink the water. Amazon. And working with our partners at EDC, Leanne, and my own economic development director, Larry Westerlin, I went down there about a month ago to Seattle and got a tour of the Amazon Fulfillment Center, which is 852,000 square feet, 4 stories high. It's so big you can hardly see from one end to the other. And it has, I believe, 55,000 robotic sorters that all run under a computer algorithm. It's so proprietary, you're not even allowed to take pictures. Totally impressed with Amazon. We will know, that's all I can say, right, Larry? We will know shortly on Amazon. If Amazon does select Fresno, they'll bring in initially about 2,500 jobs and build up to about 3,000 jobs. So with those two alone, you're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 jobs. We're also very close, on unrelated, but close to the high-speed rail maintenance yard, which is 1,500 jobs. And hopefully before the year end, we'll find out about that. Those three, if we do get the Amazon and the high-speed rail maintenance yard, will be nearly 5,000 jobs. These are new jobs to the city of Fresno. So the question is, why are we getting all this attention? Remember, we had Nordstrom's here last year. We're still working on them too. They haven't given up on them. We have the right business model. We're in the geographic center of California, near major Highway 99, interstate transportation. We have good weather. Now, you wouldn't say that when it's 110 degrees, but there's no snow drifts blocking trucks in the wintertime. There's no tornadoes or hurricanes coming by. We are in a great location. We have power at a discounted rate thanks to our friends at PG&E. Water, due to a major investment we decided 2 years ago, the Water Capital Program, we're now producing about 25,000 acre feet of reclaimed water. And a lot of these centers, like a data center, needs a lot of water we can offer at a discounted rate. Our land is cheap, labor relatively cheap, and you have the incentives of the Economic Expansion Act that I wrote. And most of these are at the highest level, which they call performance-based incentives. So if you bring in 1,000 jobs, we'll start giving you a break on your sales tax, your property tax. All those are working. And my focus now is going to be to assess the infrastructure needs, which are probably over $100 million. And a lot of it, by the way, is identified with Measure C. And I'm going to have to go out and the DC and the Sacramento to get the funds. Putting together with our partners at EDC a marketing plan and excuse the term, a branding of Fresno as a recognized, we're on the map in California, United States. So when we landed in Ulta, I asked Larry to send out, he got a list of all the job site selectors, independents, and working for big companies. They know we got Ulta. And I guarantee you, if we get Amazon, everybody's going to know that Fresno got Amazon. Fresno will be on the map. Success breeds success. We have to believe in ourselves. And my goal is to basically build a high e-commerce hub with e-commerce and other related businesses. Kansas City is the example I want to follow. Kansas City has over 10 e-commerce centers. Kansas City has, counting what's built and what's going to be built, over 10 million square feet. That's our goal, to reach that level. If we can reach that level, my goal is for 10,000 jobs within 8 years. And there's a multiplier effect. For every direct job we can apply, and these are like with Amazon, if they come, they're good paying jobs, great benefits. If you're there 1 year, they'll pay your college education if you want to advance yourself.